Good evening, guys. Hope you're all well. This is Ullas PS, and today we'll be starting with the introduction of the chest. Guys, we'll be discussing the topic under the following headings: the surface landmarks, the dissection, superficial fascia and its contents, the cutaneous nerves and vessels, platysma, and breast. Breast is a very important topic, guys, even in anatomy and surgery. The lymphatic drainage of the breast is one of the very important topics. We'll be discussing that in detail in the next class. Okay, see here, guys. The surface landmarks of the chest. We have here clavicle, the jugular notch, the sternal angle, the epigastric fossa, the nipple, and coracoid and acromion process. We'll be discussing that now. Okay. See here, guys. In the last class we saw clavicle is a horizontal bone which is at the root of neck. This is the clavicle. It's completely subcutaneous. And one thing about clavicle, guys, it is the only long bone in the body which lies horizontally. And there are many peculiarities of clavicle. We'll be discussing that too. See here, it's a horizontal bone. See here, this is the clavicle. This is a horizontal bone. This is completely subcutaneous. You can palpate on yourself. If you palpate on yourself, guys, you'll literally realize, you'll learn in an amazing way. You'll never forget that. See here, this is the jugular notch. See here, this is the jugular notch. The jugular notch is, in physiology, while examining the respiratory system, we check for the trachea, whether the trachea has shifted to any side. So, guys, in that time, we place our fingers here, the index finger and the ring finger here, and with the middle finger, we palpate here. We palpate on either side of the trachea. That's for checking for the position of trachea. Jugular notch becomes important there. Other than that, there are many surface markings where we take jugular notch as a reference. So that's a point to be remembered, guys. And after that, we have the nipple. Nipple is, we commonly call this as nipple areolar complex. See here, nipple areolar complex. So what's the difference between nipple and areola? See, if you think this is the complex, there's an elevation here. The elevation. Okay, this is the nipple. And this region around, which is dark, the dark pigmented region around the nipple is called areola. Okay, so that's the difference between nipple and areola, guys. And there's one thing about areola: the areola of a female becomes darker during pregnancy. There are various reasons for that. Just remember, guys, it becomes darker during pregnancy. Okay, and now we'll go to the I think there is epigastric fossa here. Epigastric fossa is in this region. Epigastrium is a region in the abdomen, and it lies just below the xiphisternum. Okay, guys, this one very interesting thing about the epigastric fossa. See here, this region, here's a plexus of nerves. We call it the solar plexus. So in karate and in boxing, there's a punch here. There's a punch to this region, the area below the xiphisternum in the epigastric fossa. So if the nerves are hit hard enough, that can send a lot of visceral pain to the person. So that is one of the important points regard to self-defense, guys. It becomes anatomically important too. And now I think we are done with the surface markings, guys. We have one in the shoulder. We have two in the shoulder, the acromion and the coracoid process. See, guys, from here it's difficult to tell what it is. I'll show you one more photo. Yeah, see here, this is a photograph of a shoulder joint. See here, you can see now, this is the scapula. It's like a triangular bone, and it has a process called acromion process here. Acromion process. And we saw the clavicle on the other side, right? This is the clavicle. So acromion and clavicle, acromion process and clavicle form the acromioclavicular joint, the AC joint. So this joint you can palpate at the lateral end of the clavicle. Now we'll go back to that picture. Okay, see here, this is the lateral end of the clavicle, which is marked in red. Here is where the acromioclavicular joint is. That's the acromion. There's one more process called coracoid process, which we saw here. See here, just a sec. Yeah, see here, this is the coracoid process, which I'm marking in green. Okay, coracoid process is below the clavicle. It's 2 to 3 centimeters below the clavicle. Usually in I'll show it here. Yeah, it's here. It's below the clavicle. You can palpate on yourself. That's one of the insertions for two muscles, guys. The pectoralis minor and coracobrachialis origin. So remember that point, guys. Now we'll go to the next part. Okay, the dissection part. See, in the dissection part, it's mainly practical. While dissecting for the see here, while dissecting, we have to take mark of the jugular notch. This is where the surface marking of the jugular notch becomes important. Then we cut through the chest only the skin, not the deeper layers. Only the skin we cut here. We pick it up with a forceps, and then we go on removing the subcutaneous tissue. Then we'll end up with the superficial fascia. Superficial fascia is yellow in color because, why do you think superficial fascia is yellow in color? What's the content of superficial fascia? In the whole body, guys, remember, in the whole body, whenever there is superficial fascia, usually there will be fat. Fat is yellow in color, so the superficial fascia is yellow, usually yellow. See here, and the next incision is like this, at an angle. We spare the nipple and then go till the anterior axillary fold. Okay, see here, guys, this is a very interesting point. Why do you think we spare the nipple? We could have cut through in an easy line. We are going in a curved path. That's quite hard. It's taking time. Why do you think we spare the nipple? Guys, put the answer down in the comments, and we'll discuss this in the next video for sure. Okay, our next video is a very important one. Don't miss it. See here, that was the lines of dissection. Now guys, let's go to the contents of superficial fascia. See, superficial fascia usually has fat. Here we are mentioning the specific contents which is related to that region. Here there will be cutaneous nerves, cutaneous vessels, platysma and breast. Okay, this is the cutaneous nerves. Guys, we'll go in detail to the nerves. There are basically anterior cutaneous nerves, the intercostobrachial nerve, lateral cutaneous nerve, the supraclavicular nerves, and there is a area of distribution for them. See here. See, above the clavicle you can see the ventral rami of C3 and C4, and medially you can see the ventral rami of 2 to 6 thoracic nerves, and laterally you can see the ventral rami of 3 to 6. Okay, guys, I hope you know what's rami. Okay, it was one of the confusions for me in the beginning of the my academic year, so I thought I'll discuss this with you. Okay, see here, guys, this is the spinal cord. Okay, in the vertebral column there is a tube-like structure which is a part of CNS. There is brain and spinal cord in the CNS, and spinal cord is in the vertebral column. So if you cut the person horizontally and look from above, this is what you find. this is the body of the vertebra, and this is the spinal cord. The spinal cord. Okay. Uh, See here. This is the spinal cord. Now see here, guys. Uh, there are something like roots coming here, isn't it? Coming like this, and even from here. One is coming from the front, one is coming from the back. The front, the back. The front one is called the ventral root, the back one is called the dorsal root. They both are coming here, joining, then going like this and dividing again, isn't it? See here again, guys, coming as the posterior root, the anterior root coming together, dividing again into anterior and posterior, isn't it? Guys, this is what called the root. The first two are called the root. Root, root, join, divide, divide. This division is called the rami. The ventral rami, the dorsal rami. The rami is the plural, ramus is the singular. The ventral and dorsal root join and then form the rami, ventral and dorsal rami. The ventral rami are the what you have seen as the intercostal nerves. See here. Yeah. This is what you saw as the anterior cutaneous nerve, the lateral cutaneous nerve, the intercost. That we'll discuss in detail. That comes from a plexus. Yeah, guys. As you can see here, there are ventral rami, and ventral rami. There is no dorsal ramus here, isn't it? Guys, this is a law which states that whatever the sensory input is there, it comes to the spinal cord from the ventral side, and whatever the motor input is there, motor output is there, it goes through the dorsal root into the specific muscles or any of the glands. Okay, see here. There's one exception for that law that we'll discuss in abdomen and pelvis. You can study about that online. You can just say the exception for this law. That's all. And guys, let's go to the next topic. Next topic is the platysma. See, platysma is a muscle of the neck. See here. If it is in the neck, why is this discussed in this topic, the chest? See here, guys, this is the clavicle here. This upper part is the neck, and see, you can see some fibers here now. Some fibers going like this. Some fibers of the platysma are in the chest. That's why it is being discussed here. It's not so important. Yeah. And this is next topic, breast, is very important, guys. I'll be discussing this in detail in the headings of blood supply, nerve supply, the extent, position, the clinical importance in detail. Okay, guys, let's end this session here. And guys, there's a question for you in today's session. Why aren't we cutting the nipple while dissecting? Why are we going around it? Try to find the answer, guys. It's very interesting point, trust me. We'll discuss that in the next class. Meanwhile, put the comments, put the answer in the comment section, what have you found, and we'll be announcing the winners in the next class. Okay, have a great day, guys. All the best. See you. Bye.